Thank you guys for clicking on the video. I am Sully, and we are back with another franchise hockey manager video. And actually, we were over the cap, so I had to trade Howden. If you remember, he was on the team. He was the left wing, the third left winger. I had to trade him for a third-round pick from Anaheim, just because I wanted to move him to clear the cap, and we brought up the rookie. We moved Heloka. I don't know how you say his name. I'm terrible with names. We moved him up for Nicholas. He was in the minor league system. He's going to be playing fourth line time. I may swap him. That sort of hurts our third line as a whole. I may swap him and just see what he can do compared to Adam. I don't know. I mean, they're still relatively young guys. I do like Adam's offensive abilities a little bit more right now. So I'm going to put him in the third line and just see what happens. But that may change depending on what happens. So you guys know what's happened around the league. I've updated you long enough. It's time to play some hockey. So the first game is against St. Louis. So, yeah, we win 5-2. There you go. So off to the start that we like to see, and the stats should update. Once more games are played, hopefully. Bogosian is now on waivers. That's interesting. Carolina. We're gonna try and stop the simulation here. You guys know how I like to do for these simulations. I like to flip the goalies on the back-to-backs just to get more playing time for Tomek. And we may actually roll with Tomek just because he is younger and he can grow. And Mason's sort of getting up there, so a chance to sort of save Mason as we drop that game 4-1. Let's see what happened. So we outshot him a lot, and just 2 goals. And, yeah, Adam scored his second of the game, so the third liner. He was originally going to be a fourth liner, but it seems like he's paying off. I'm going to give the backup Tomek one more week, just see how he's, just see what happens. You know, you never know. Just to play him and just let him play out a week. So right now, Hall and Nuge leading the Edmonton Oilers in points. 6-5, but again, the season is really early. We're only a couple games, so I'm not really too worried about it. We win 3-0 over Dallas, so Tomek with a shutout. That's what we'd like to see. And now we're gonna put we're gonna switch him back, put Mason in net, and we're gonna finish out the month of October, get some games in. The big thing I think for us is I would like to see that second line click a little bit more. Last year, you know, in the playoffs, I think the second line sort of died on us. Giroux is playing first line power play time. I switched him with Couturier, even though Couturier is playing first line time on the power play, he's playing second. And actually, I want to see this trade. You see Hickman and Hossa get top billing in Blackhawks Bruins swap, so we're going to check that out. We win 5-4. Let's see what happened. So Marian Hossa at 40 is on his way. I think Boston is getting Marian Hossa and Scott Conway. Interesting trade. Seems like Justin Hickman was the real piece behind that. Interesting. And like we said, Zach Bogosian cleared waivers. Probably should have jumped on that. Maybe. I don't know. Bogosian seems like a decent player, but we're going to keep on moving along. We're going to put in Tomek, let him play a week, and then we'll put Mason back in. We'll try and go to the end of November the end of November, and then see what the deal is, what's happened in the NHL so far. You'll notice that Couturier and Adam were leading in goals just then. So we're gonna not a lot of games, so I'm gonna let Tomek ride a little bit. Let him play this week. We were there. You see Adam and Couturier up there in goals, which is nice. Jones is leading in assist, or he's 2 away, but still, that's great news for us. Mason's 4 wins. Tomek has a great save percentage. So I like what we see in another shutout for Tomek. So I don't know. This could be a year where Tomek makes, if we play him enough too, he's going to grow. So he could make that next step as a goaltender. That would be great. I'm actually not going to leave him in for this back-to-back against New York. Let's see what happens. We lost 3-2. It definitely wasn't overtime, so Vancouver is 6-0-1. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. But like I said, we're going to put Mason in for Tomek back-to-back. Big game. Mason is still our established starter, so even though Tomek's played great, let's not forget that. So we lose 3-1. Let's actually check the abilities because Tomek, he could take that next step. I mean, if he takes that next step and he becomes a 3.5-star goaltender, do you try and move Mason, or do you roll with Tomek and try and save Mason, save him a little bit? I mean, who knows how that works. So the give or take a couple of days, the first month of October is in the books in the NHL, and you can see Ben leading the league in points, also in assists. Crosby, Malkin in goals, and Kucherov and Drouin leading the Tampa Bay Lightning. So one of the last games of October, playing against Buffalo. Can we get a win? Buffalo sort of trying to find their way, and we lose 4-2, so Buffalo takes a jump. Vancouver's having a phenomenal season. I mean, look at that. They have yet to lose a game in regulation. They are the last team in the NHL to hold that prize. And you see Duclair and Bodker for Arizona in assists. You see Arizona's making strides in where they sit in the playoffs. They're actually in that hunt for either fourth or third, excuse me, in the Pacific, or they could be looking at a wild card. Guys, just another interruption, but anyways, the development report for us, we can see where the drop-offs, so nothing in the NHL that we need to be concerned about. So good news, people are coming along. Hurdle is positioning's going up. So, good news for us. We need to keep on keeping on. That's the big thing. So let's see if we can knock out the month of November. For goalies, Luongo is still punching along with that save percentage. Tomek has a nice save percentage now. The goals against is pretty interesting because Tomek and Luongo are battling. But again, the thing is, they're not getting as many games compared to Mason, but at the same time, I think Tomek already, if I'm not mistaken, has, I want to say 2 shutouts. Don't quote me on that, but I think Tomek is already, he's already leading Philadelphia in shutouts. I'll double check that after the New Jersey game. So here we are. We're playing New Jersey. New Jersey still last in the Metropolitan, struggling to find their way. Let's see what happens. Hopefully we can pick up a win. There we go. A win 2-1. Again, we have to win against teams that we're expected to win if we want to capture. I am honestly not expecting a fourth President's Trophy, but it could very well happen. Let's check. So there were some trades. There are also people put on waivers. Let's check the board. Confidence is promising so far. He's happy with our work. That's what we like to hear. So let's see. Detroit's claimed Oscar Lindbergh. There we go. And in a trade of major proportions, the Avalanche will acquire Malcolm Subban for Tyson Briere. So there we go. There's a big trade, and it helps St. Louis getting that defense, and Colorado acquiring Malcolm Subban, which is interesting because, well, let's check Colorado. Okay, so clearly they have parted ways with Semyon Varlamov. But it's weird because they have an up-and-comer. Unless they're going to trade him, he's 21 years old in Troy. And so I don't know. I mean, maybe Malcolm has 4 stars all around, so maybe they see him as replacing. But an interesting trade nonetheless. Big trade, too. I mean, I guess they felt the need. Tyson Barrie wasn't really needed, so they moved him out. So we're going to keep on simulating. I would like to get Tomek some playing time. I think let him... this could be an interesting season because, again, we talked about it a little bit earlier in the episode, but I think Tomek, if we play him enough, if he became 4 stars, I would be okay with that. So, but he's at 3. I want to try and push him to 3.5. We lose 5-1 against Nashville. We need a bounce back game from him, and I think this can show. Can he get that bounce back game against Edmonton? No, we lose 4-2. Okay. So we take a couple bumps right there, a couple bumps. And I'm going to take him out. Another trade between Pittsburgh and Buffalo. There you go. I don't think... I think I read too much into him. I mean, I think he could be ready potentially. But clearly it's not yet anyway. So... let's see if we can get this back. Again, Vancouver is really hot right now. They are 13-1-1. They finally lost a game, but Calgary is just as hot as they are, 10-2-3. So we'll see against Columbus. We win 4-3, so a big win, getting back to where we need to be in the win column. So we're going to try and knock out. Again, November, take stock where we are. See if we need to fiddle with the lines at all. Again, it's interesting. You look, and Kucherov is playing phenomenal. Drouin is right there. And you see Tomek has fallen out of the top goaltending situation. So a win against Chicago, that's nice because Chicago is 4th there. They're trying to keep pace with Colorado, St. Louis, and Dallas. They're all sort of fighting right there. So we're going to try and get Tomek on this back-to-back. Play him against Buffalo. We win 5-4. So let's see. Buffalo is a good team. Nothing to sleep on. Let's see if he can get the job done. Hopefully he can. Let's see. And he loses 5-2. Let's see. So let's check the tactics. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, 3 goals in the first. Were they power play? No, even strength. We didn't give up a penalty. 0-for-4. So I think while we're here, you know what? Let's just check what's going on with special teams, I should say. My gosh. So let's go team stats. Let's check the power play percentage. So right now we are dead last in the NHL. Wow. The PK we are 12. So the power play is atrocious. So I'm gonna switch Hertl and Silverberg. I'm actually gonna put Zucker. I'm actually gonna switch these two. And just see if it changes things. I'm going to put Couturier on the first line. Might as well. I mean, clearly, Giroux on that first line for the power play isn't doing anything. Maybe put Hertl on the first. Switch Zucker and Silverberg. I don't know. Try anything. Because we're dead last in power plays. It's amazing. I think it shows the quality of team we have. We're dead last in power plays, but yet we're still in the midst of fighting for a playoff spot. So I think it goes to show the type of team we have. So we can keep on simulating here. Coming towards the end of November, once we crack into December, we'll end the video. Florida, it would be nice to get a win. They're 4th right now in the Atlantic. Let's see. They're doing really well. They're turning that corner as a team as a whole. So we lose 4-2, like I said. They're playing really well in Florida. And Philadelphia is notorious for slow starts. But I think this is why, and we lose 1-0 against Tampa. This is why we need a goaltender. Because I think Mason, we're going to have to make a move with Mason. I mean, he's just not, he's not performing, it seems like. Our goaltending, we'll check the stats again. I mean, I don't know. But it seems like, I mean, I think we're scoring enough goals. I just don't think we're playing well defensively. And let's check right now. Let's check the team stats. Where are they? I think they're here. Okay, so goals per game were middle of the road. Goals against were sort of middle of the road. Shots, power plays bad. I mean, it says we're getting the most shots. And so I think I'm going to just tell them. I mean, we're generating the most shots, so I don't know what to do. Maybe give it some time. I mean, it's a little bit early. I mean, we're sort of just reaching a quarter of the way through. But I know that, I mean, there we go. We win 7-2 against Detroit. Now, Detroit's not the best team in the world, but they're last in the Atlantic. But again, we got the win, and we need to start getting some wins here. So a game against Ottawa. Hopefully we can pull this out. We lose 5-3, and then back against New York, and we lose 5-4. I don't know if we got an overtime loss, man. But you know, the good news is so far we are a playoff team, which I think is where we want to be. I mean, I don't see us becoming a President's Trophy. I don't think last year, I don't know if it was a fluke, but I honestly wasn't expecting it. And I sort of don't for this season. But if it happens, great. But I think for us, I think the Stanley Cups mean more. I think they mean more to us than the President's Trophy. So, we won 5-4, which is really good against Columbus. Let's see how it happened. Lawton a goal and assist, which is really good. And this time we didn't outshoot Columbus, but we did win. The only downside is we gave up a power play goal, but we scored a power play goal, which is good. That's what I like to see. I think that's what we need. So we'll check the stats. We were 1 for 3, but Columbus was 1 of 4. So, you know, the good news is our power play was dead last. I think scoring a power play goal was huge for us. And we'll see after this week, at the bottom, it says Oilers send Jonathan Quick to the St. Louis Blues in a trade. And the Avalanche and Predators announced a trade. So we'll find out. And New Jersey adds David Backes. So moves being made. You'll see the veterans are starting to get shipped. Teams not afraid to try and make moves. So as the game engine saves for the month of December, let's see what happened. So David Backus and Reed on his move. So it seems like it's split. Right wing. I think maybe New Jersey wants to add a veteran presence, although I think New Jersey is not doing too well. So don't really understand that move. I think the board doesn't like our performance in the last couple of weeks, and I agree. And then Jonathan Quick is on his way to St. Louis in exchange for Tommy. And Tommy's a solid defenseman, so maybe Edmonton's looking to get better defensively. That makes sense. And then the trade Rainer Weber for Duncan and a 6th-round pick. And so I think teams are starting to see where their weaknesses are, and they're starting to make moves. So Mek's been on the bench for he's actually been playing all this time. I didn't even realize that. So Mason should be good. I didn't even realize that Tomek was in net this whole time. So hopefully Mason then can. There we go. We win 11-3 first game with Mason back in. Let's see against Nashville. All right, we lose 4-3, but we got a point out of it. So I actually forgot Tomek was playing that whole time. I think we'll sim a couple weeks into December, just to see how Mason is doing, because I honestly did not even realize that. I don't know how it slipped my mind, but we just kept going with Tomek, and that probably explains a little bit there. We win 4-0. I mean, so that, oh man, I'm such an idiot. I can't believe that. We'll end with Calgary. This will be the final game of the simulation. Let's just sim this real quick. All right, let's see what happens. All right, so we win 2-1, big win. 2 goals by Zucker and Couturier. And you see Couturier had a goal and assist. And so let's check. Power play 2, that's what we like to see. 1 of 6 and 0 of 4. So let's take a look at the roster and just see who's performing for us, who's not. Stats, offense. So Voracek is over a point per game. Zucker is a point per game. Giroux, look at that, balanced 10 goals, 10 assists. You like that? Couturier, 15 goals, 13 assists. Nice job. For points as a whole, Kulikov is still quietly performing really well, and so is Scott Laughton. Again, Scott Laughton is playing third line time. So, and you see Adam, he's performing well as that third line. Silverberg sort of needs to get together. That second line, I mean, and it's interesting because Laughton, to my knowledge, is not getting power play time. And so Laughton, I think if we could get time on ice, so if we get the shifts, we can see that Laughton is getting less shifts just in terms of raw numbers, less than Silverberg and Hertl. He is also getting less ice time. Well, this is time on ice, even strength. So he's getting less time, and also Silverberg and Hertl are getting those power play minutes. And so it just goes to show you, Laughton is, I mean, he's such a good player in my opinion. I really like him. It's a shame that he is stuck behind Giroux, because if he's able to make the most with what he has in Adam and Nicholas, I don't know if he's on pace for his season average, but I was hoping he would sort of take that next step. And when it comes to goals, he's all right. He's a goal scorer. I get that's his MO, and he's doing a great job of it. We may we're not gonna move him to center, but I would sort of like him just to take that. I feel like he could take that next step, but I guess the scouts say, oh my gosh, I'm talking too fast. Breathe. Breathe, Sully. The scouts say that this is pretty much where he's going to be at. And at age 23, we signed Silverberg. It's going to be interesting. I'll say right now, he's great for where he is at. So we're going to take a look at the standings right now, and you'll see we'll go the league. We are 6th in the NHL. We're 10 points behind Tampa and Vancouver. And Los Angeles is bottom. Minnesota, Boston, New York Rangers, Detroit. In New Jersey, that's what was interesting to me about that New Jersey trade, is they were trading to get Backus, and they gave up a 26-year-old, and I didn't really understand that. So I'm going to leave it here, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, and I will see you in the next Franchise Hockey Manager video.